we've returned once again today to deliver another episode of Sangatsu no Line Season 2. This episode being episode 15. I was also almost lost my train of thought just then. I was like, wait. Oh yeah. I don't know what's going on with my brain lately, but it's been a thing. My brain just loses track of what the hell's going on in life. Also have no idea my mouse is gone. There it is. There it is. I've got updates on my Mac. Like, please, Mac, leave me alone. But anyway, yeah. So, enough of my struggles with life. So, I do believe I did miss this episode on Saturday because I wasn't actually in Canada. I do believe, but I actually was miss this episode. And this episode happens to deal with the White Storm arc of the manga, which happens to be the fated meeting and fight between our friend Arima and Rei. Which, as we know, it's a dank fight in the manga. It's a dank fight, I must say. Oh, it is good. It is a good match. I mean, the next match that comes afterwards is even better, but this one, oh, it's a good match. It's a good match, I must say. It actually kind of brings into light a lot of things with Arima's character and also with Rei's character as well. So yeah, I have been looking forward to this actual arc being animated because it's actually one of my favourite ones. And yeah, I can't freaking wait to see how this turns out, because this will be kind of one of the good ones, I think, and especially the twist afterwards as well. But yeah, I also know that there happens to be a break in the broadcast after the next episode on Saturday. So there's no episode for at least 3 weeks, I believe. So yeah, which is sad, because the next arc we head into is even better, which is actually kind of annoying. So I mean, you can't do anything at this point. You have to kind of go, okay, all right, but. I mean, I can wait, as they say. So anyway, drink some water because my throat's actually kind of dying. Let's actually get the show on the road and see what happens in White Storm Part 2 to 4, I believe. It's covering the whole entirety of the arc. So I believe the chapter after 4 is reset. So anyway, enough talk. Let's actually see this fight go down. So let's start this thing in 3, 2, 1. Let's begin this thing now. Oh, Shaft, my boys. Shaft, my boys. Is thine at nailing this thing so far? Oh. I should also kind of preference this while the opening's actually playing of why I call Soya Arima. So I don't think a lot of people actually might realise that I call him Arima quite a bit. It's because he looks just like Arima from Tokyo Ghoul. So I always, it's been a running joke for its whole entire series. I always call him Arima. So whenever I mention Arima, I'm actually mentioning Soya. Just in case. Also, I guess they call the match a fight as well, when technically it's actually a match, but you know what I mean. I think this OP is slowly growing on me, though I still think the previous OP is better. I don't know what it is about the original. I think it's just because the original OP had a lot more symbolism in it, especially for Raid's character. But I think it's because this one takes more of a kind of a side character route than the previous opening does. So it allows the other characters to kind of be the center point, if you catch my drift. So that's why it's less symbolic in the idea of Raid's development as a character. They're doing a really amazing job with this arc so far. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Oh, that's the twist. That's the good twist. I didn't expect that twist to happen, but it all kind of falls into place once it all kind of happens. You're like, it all makes sense. It's a passing twist, but you're like, oh my god, everything just makes perfect sense. It all just hits you at one time. Alrighty. That was a good episode. It was a brilliant episode, I must say. I mean, it's actually probably one of the more relentlessly paced episodes of Sangatsu I've seen in quite a while, actually. I think it was actually a lot more paced in a sense of quite a quickly paced episode, because it actually is quite a lot to cover because the anime is going on a break. But still, it did the arc justice because it included it had the twist and did a twist quite well. Granted, I would have kind of thought they would have done something with the sound design to actually kind of make the twist like kind of just hit that even more impactful, but the way they did it was completely fine. I was like, yeah, he did a good job, don't worry, Shaft, so do not worry about it. But man, oh man, I thought I had an email from university, but I didn't in the end. I thought, wow. But yeah, so goddamn, it's a shame to see this anime go on a break because I love this anime to bits. It's actually my favorite show of all time, so it's gonna be quite the wait to see this actual anime go on a break. But I mean, it happens sometimes. Right, okay. Now let's talk about this episode for a bit. So, this episode did quite a lot in the sense of kind of characterizing Soya's character beyond the point of what we've seen right now, and actually kind of what people have said about him, because again, it's one of those things that the character has been built up by people to actually be this kind of this shogi demon, as you said last week. And really, when you think about it, this episode really did a great job of actually kind of humanizing him. Kind of making him seem as if he's actually a normal person. It's a person with a very, very big reputation, and actually kind of a very, very big reputation to show it as well, because he's an amazing person, how he plays. It's one of those things that I liked how the arc was done, because it kind of just deconstructs his character completely to show that he's no more than a person like Ray is. It's basically what they should have done since with a lot of the shows. When you try to when you try to overhype someone to the point of no return, it sort of kind of dampens the experience slightly, because then you know there is no freaking chance of him winning. I mean, we still got an idea in this match, but at the same time, there was this evidence that Ray was doing a really freaking good job, and it's actually kind of even shown through Soya's actual reactions as well. Those reactions showed you perfectly, like, look, he actually understands what he's doing is actually really freaking good as well. This is one of those things that kind of just allows you to see that not everyone is what they seem. I mean, yeah, in the way they play they are, but not in the way they actually act. And he was actually a completely human person. I liked how Shaft used camera angles to kind of do that, because a lot of the time you would see camera angles like low angle shots showing his actual kind of his grandiosity and stuff like that. But here it was actually just kind of completely normal. I mean, yeah, there were shots that included like a painting-esque nature to it, but those were kind of like, yeah, it's showing that he's a great person, but at the same time, it's still showing he's completely human. I really do like that aspect of the show, because otherwise you kind of just get this idea that, is there much point watching this fight if he's not going to win? But if you actually kind of deconstruct the relationship, actually allow Ray to actually kind of be on the terms with Soya, it kind of just allows you to experience it a lot better. Actually, kind of allows you to actually kind of like the fight overall. You know, it kind of allows the actual then outcome to feel a little bit more genuine and say, oh yeah, he's this badass person that can't be beaten. So it'd be like, what's the point watching? But really, his whole entire arc did a great job of actually just deconstructing Soya's character, and actually kind of making it seem like as if there was actually no gap between Ray and Soya. I mean, there's this gap in a sense of actual kind of like prestige. There's that gap, but in a sense of character, there is no gap. They're basically exactly the same person. It's kind of cool when you think about it, because it's one of those things that I think the anime was trying to hint at it for quite a while, that they are quite one the same, but not kind of just there just yet. There's still kind of evidence here to go, but it was kind of nice, because otherwise you're kind of just sitting there going, oh, but here, like, it's kind of cool to see these two people actually eventually then kind of go against each other. Because again, it's one of those things, you expect them to go against each other, but you didn't expect the actual fight to be this good. Because certainly sometimes shows can actually, as I said beforehand, said quite a few times during the stream, can overcompensate characters to the point of no return. But here is like, yes, he is this shogi demon that has no human form, but he's a person. It's actually kind of nice. It kind of humanizes what's otherwise kind of sort of a demonized character, but not in the kind of the context of like Goto's character or anyone like that. He was just kind of demonized in the sense of how much he's got this prestige on him, which is actually kind of neat. So yeah, I mean, the revelation was kind of one of the highlights of this arc for me, because it's one of those things that it kind of puts in perspective the whole entirety of his character. I mean, it makes sense, everything beforehand about what was going on with him, why he was always alone, everything like that, why he didn't speak, why everything was actually kind of always very silent. It all just kind of makes sense. I thought it was actually a brilliant twist, because you don't expect it. Like, maybe he just doesn't talk to people, maybe he's completely like, just doesn't know how to speak to people, maybe he's like, just has social anxiety. It's one of those things, you bring all these things into question, besides the fact that, oh yeah, he might not be able to hear. And I thought that is absolutely brilliant, because it all makes sense. It's brilliant because of how it actually kind of just interweaves itself into the whole entirety of the plot. Actually, make everything make sense afterwards. I thought, good job, because I was not expecting that when I read the manga. I mean, it was one of those things, it's a passing twist, but at the same time, you're like, wait, what? And it all just makes sense. You have like a brain spark moment. You're like, holy moly, everything makes sense now. Which is kind of an amazing twist for that reason. But yeah, I mean, going back to the match itself, I think the match itself really did, in theory, allow for Rei to kind of find a pseudo place where he kind of, in a way, belongs as well. One of those things, it's actually kind of nice, because each tile he put down, actually, he felt that spark. He felt something he never felt beforehand. I thought it was actually kind of a neat thing, because beforehand, when he put the tiles down, it was like, okay, it was just the same thing over and over again. The sugar pieces didn't really kind of have this, like, ring to it. The tiles didn't have a ring to it. But here, it was like each one had this spark. It's actually just kind of telling you, look, he's at his game in this match. This is the match he's been waiting for. And you can even see it in Soya's eyes as well. He's like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. And I thought it was actually kind of a neat thing, because it allowed you to see that the match that you didn't expect it to actually kind of be the place that Rei belongs to, actually is the place he belongs. Actually one of those things, it all led to this one moment, and the moment was freaking grand. And I thought, good job there, because this arc has been one of those ones that it's always been kind of building towards, but you never know how they're going to do it, and how they did it was actually freaking brilliant. And I thought the idea of the constant use of the water aspect of the anime as well was really, really freaking good, because again, it's one of those things that the water is something to overcome, and I think in this arc, it was actually kind of overcome to a point that actually, in theory now, Rei kind of might see himself in a different way. Maybe we don't know just yet, because it hasn't really kind of finished just yet. There's still a couple more chapters to go before the next big arc starts, which is actually kind of even better than this one, because oh my god, you're not prepared for the next arc. The next arc is absolutely brilliant. Like, goddamn, it's actually one of those ones that it will take you by surprise how great the arc is next. But man, I've always wanted to see this arc animated. Well, I was gonna see it anyway, but the way they did it, oh my god, the animation was on point. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things that uses those art kind of esque nature like points as well, which I did really like as well, because it actually kind of makes you realize, oh yeah, he's like a person from a book, like Rei says. So it kind of brings it back to what Rei was saying, but at the same time, it just allows you to see that he's not all what he seems, even in when the twist happens. I thought, good job on that part. Sangatsu, good job. And the OST, as always, was absolutely fantastic. One of the highlights of this whole entire series really is the OST, because the OST really is freaking phenomenal. How it actually kind of becomes its own character, and actually kind of then brings more emotion to the scenes that was otherwise is still there, but just brings its A game completely. And it was shown absolutely incredibly during this whole entire arc. Even the previous arcs as well, but still this arc just exemplified that idea. The OST really just came into its own, actually allowed you to see there is an evidence of a character within the OST itself, just kind of there in its own way. That's also one of those things that it's actually kind of a lost art when to utilise the OST correctly, but when it's actually utilised to the point that this one's utilised, oh, it's brilliant to see. It really is. So yeah, I mean, all in all, Sangatsu no Line, you did a good job. I mean, I'm sad to see this anime go on a hiatus for like 3 weeks, because is my highlight of the Saturday besides Pop Team Epic. So now I don't have Sangatsu, so I just have Pop Team Epic and Darling in the Fran, which is kind of sad. But I think the Winter Olympics are like 3 weeks, which I actually completely forgot about. I was like, oh yeah, the Winter Olympics. So what made it, what dropped my memory is the fact this goes on a break for a bit. I was like, ah, that's why. So yeah, I mean, we'll watch one more episode this week before the break starts. I do believe we won't see the start of the next arc. We might see the start of the next arc, but not the actual kind of conclusion. So it might be one of those ones that how it will leave it is kind of going to be one of the biggest cliffhangers in the universe. But what can you do, as they say? What can you do? But anyway, so hopefully you actually have enjoyed this whole entire stream on Twitch. If you have, then do leave a follow, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. If you have enjoyed what I do here on YouTube and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. If you've enjoyed what I do here on YouTube and you want to stay a little bit longer, then do leave a sub, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. But until next time, with Sangatsu no Line Season 2 Episode 16 on Saturday at 5:30 GMT, I shall see you guys later.